January here today in Sydney, Australia, New South Wales, and of course today, the 26th of January, is Australia Day. So for all of the Australians who are living here in Australia, probably having a wonderful time at the beach. You know, I'm here at Cronulla on the other side of this. This is everyone here at Cronulla having a wonderful time at this beach. I'm going to head out there after this, but I did say yesterday I was going to come to you around the 12:30 mark, and we're here today with our part two of our series over the next 3 or 4 days. We're sharing with you 3 major moves. What are your 3 major moves in 2022? If you were to break through to a new you, if you're considering what your next step is to be able to bring more love, more joy, more happiness, more success in your life, what are the 3 major moves that I believe that everyone has a choice and they need to consider in order for them to start moving forward? And you know, when you think about it, over the last 18 to 24 months, a lot's happened for a lot of people. And we've gone through a lot of things in our life to be able to get to where we are today. And a lot of things have changed for lots of people. And so my wish for you over the next, the 2 or 3 sessions that we're going to have in addition to what we did yesterday, is for you to start thinking about your thinking, think about what's important to you, and think about what your next step is to be able to get a better quality of life and to be able to, perhaps create that legacy, perhaps, make an impact with how you serve, with your magic, with your signature, which is your sign of nature, and to make a difference on this planet just because you existed. And I think that's what true success is, to be able to do that. And so, as you know, Arthur Bablis here, I've been in this field of complementary medicine, personal growth and human performance for the last 25, 30 years. And I'm here doing this series because a lot of people are telling me, what is it that you do? We love you coming live, love sharing all these tools and tips. And our commitment this year is to show up more, to be able to communicate with you on this platform. We're coming to you through our social media, through our Facebook groups, our YouTube channel. So whatever you're watching, just let us know that you're watching. Send in some chats. Tell us whether you're watching it live or you're watching it as a replay, and tell us where you're from, because we serve people from all over the world. In this time of technology and getting to people from Zoom and everything else, you can see all these people behind me. They're people that have been in our trainings and now it's become my wall, right? And everything that we've done over the last 2 years. So I'm grateful that we've been able to continue to do what we do, continue to serve, and continue to be able to help you, provide you with the tools, tips, techniques, the training, the education, the learning, the experiences, the breakouts, the challenges, the spending the time together so we can grow together. And this is what we've been doing over the last 25 years, whether you just come and join us simply because you want to get exposed to simple life skills to be able to communicate better with your loved ones, live a better quality life, or whether you're looking to go down a pathway as a coach, or maybe you're not sure yet. Maybe it's all those 3 things. Maybe you're not sure yet where you're headed, and you discover that you have a passion, you have a calling to be able to want to help other people. Then, all those people, this is what we've helped. That's who we've helped over the last 25, 30 years. And now my wish for you is to, you start thinking about the decisions that you need to make in order to start bringing in the life that's important to you. And that starts by you working on yourself, becoming the person that you need to become in order to live that better quality of life. So as I get myself organized over here, yesterday what we did, we started to talk about, what's important to you. We started to talk about really what is the problem? What is it that it's stopping people from moving forward with their life and achieving the things that they want to achieve? And really, let me put my slides on here so we can see what we're talking about. I'm just getting myself all wired up, right? Let's see. It should come up very soon if everything's working. If not, it's working. Let's this is technology, right? So here I am. So there's my slide. So as you said, well, it's not working that way. Let's come back over this way. There's my slide there. So what it is that we do is that we help people, right? We help people build resilience, inner strength, so they can navigate the road ahead without losing their integrity and their passion for life. Where have I disappeared? Let me come back in here. Maybe I need to come back on this. So anyway, we've got a technical glitch, so I'll take care of my slides that are on. But we talked about the three major means. What is it that people are experiencing today? What is the problem? Today, a lot of people are becoming reactive. They're reactive to the surroundings, they're reactive to the situation, reactive to what's going on in their life. And so it's the stress of the uncertainty, the stress of the not knowing, the stress of not knowing if they're going to have a job, if they're going to be able to provide for the kids or be able to see the family, the travel, all this type of stuff, which what's going on. It's causing stress, and how people are dealing with that, they're reacting to it. And so it's the meaning that they give to that. And we said, and so how do you go from being reactive to resourceful? That's your first major move. You need to make a choice. Are you going to choose to continue to be reactive in your life, or are you going to be resourceful in your life? And the way you do that is by changing your thinking. You need to rewire your thinking. And we gave you some tools, tips and techniques to think about what your thinking is about in order for you to be able to change that, right? In order for you to consider that the only reason that you react to certain things in a certain way is simply because of the meaning that you give to things. And so we talk about the obstacle becomes the way. The obstacle is what actually allows you to grow. The obstacle is what helps you become a better quality being. And so when you think about what is going on in your life, it can either be the actual thing that caused you to give up because of the meaning that you give it, or the thing that helps you rise up and become a better quality human being because of the meaning that you give it. And so my wish is that you give it a meaning for you to rise up. My wish is that you give it a meaning in order for you to, well, these slides aren't working the way we want them to work them, so let me come back to here. So we've had a technical glitch, all these cameras and everything else, and sometimes technology just plays its own game, isn't that right? And so let me get to my slides, actually my flip chart. Maybe my flip chart will work over here. Here we go. Let's go to the flip chart. So yesterday we talked about when people stress, they become reactive. And so the trick is in order for you to rewire your thinking. How do you do that? You do that with NLP is the program that we deliver. NLP is what we've been delivering over the last, I've been training myself in this field for the last 25 years and training thousands of people to have a better quality life just simply by thinking about how they do things up here and changing the way they give things meanings. And if you change your programming, your operating system, then you're going to get a better quality result. And we gave you this communication model, didn't we? We said, here's Fred Flintstone, stuff happens to Fred. Fred experiences consciousness. So as he experiences consciousness, 11 million bits of information comes in, he deletes his thoughts and generalizes a lot of information down to 134 bits. So Fred makes a decision on what stuff means, what consciousness means to him, basically on 0.1% of the data. The rest is a blind spot, guys. In psychology, they're called scotomas. And it's these scotomas which actually delete, distort, and generalize reality, what absolute reality is. I mean, we have our truth, and we think our truth is a reality, but in fact, we're making a decision on 0.01% of consciousness. We give it a meaning, and then that's the result we get, and that's how we behave. And we attempt to change people's behaviors here, externally, extrinsically, positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement without looking at how they do their thinking. So if you want to rewire yourself, you need to consider how you do this. And the way you do this, you need to explore your program. You can explore how you do things, and NLP is the one program that does that. So we're challenging you, I suppose. We're getting to consider for you to explore that and learn about how you do it, and maybe get some help to be able to upgrade your operating system. It's like having a computer system or a computer. If you're running a computer, a 10-year-old computer, a 20-year-old computer, and haven't upgraded the software yet, well, it's going to be clunky, right? It's actually probably not going to work. And so when's the last time you had an upgrade? When's the last time you actually, all of us have got these phones, these devices, and these things upgrade themselves every week automatically. When do you upgrade yourself? When did you upgrade your thinking? If you don't, then your results are going to be reflecting it. And Bob Proctor says, have a look at the results you get in your life. It tells me the truth about your life. So you can't run away from it, guys. You've got so many people who talk the talk. They're spiritual talkers, they're personal development talkers, but they're not spiritual walkers. They're not necessarily doing the work. And I'm coming to you saying this as most humbly as I can. I'm not judging, just reporting, but we're here to also support each other. And sometimes the biggest love you can give someone and shake them is actually call them on their stuff. That's the same way people call me on my stuff in order for me to be able to become a better quality being. We're all on this journey of improving. No one here is perfect, but we need to be able to reflect back and say, what can I do to actually become better? So that was step one. Step two was you're experiencing reactivity, or people now are run down. Why they run down? They're run down because you're experiencing over here anxiety, guys. So a lot of people have experienced anxiety here. So it's stress, the anxiety, and obviously the depression, right, which we'll talk about tomorrow. And the anxiety is a future emotion because people are uncertain what's happening in the future. That maybe you're lying awake at night, they're ruminating, or they're attempting to burn the candle at both ends, and they get run down. They're not doing the rituals that they need to actually activate the life spark inside them, to activate the life force, or actually, eat better, drink better, sleep better. What are the things that you do morning, day and night in order for you to actually create a level of vibrancy for you to be able to show up every day and get the results that you want? People feel run down. So what is it that we want to be able to do and help people do? We want them to be able to, from run down, get them re-energized. How do you get them re-energized? The way you get them re-energized, we need to reset them. We need to reset the mind and body. And so today we're going to give you a model that we work with. How do we reset our mind and body? What are the things that we need to look at in order for us to be able to do that? And what are the tools, techniques and modalities that we work with here at the MBX Institute? And what are some things we can leave you with today in order for you to do that? So let's go over the slide here and let's look at today. Today what we want to look at is, I want you to consider, we exist here on this planet as other than the spiritual energetic form, as a three-dimensional being. And we call this a triangle of health, or a wellness triangle. And for us to be in complete optimum health, being optimized, experiencing optimum health and vitality, think of this as a life force in the middle here. For us to have high life energy, for us to have an energy, optimized life energy, those three aspects have to be in harmony. On one side, the mental side and the emotional side, which is our thoughts and our emotions. So the mental side and the emotions, our thoughts and emotions, is on one side. The other side is the biochemical side, all right? This is the interaction with the environment, the food that we eat, and also on this side, it's our structural, it's our physical side, all right? Structural. This is mental, emotional. We'll put that up there. So all those three sides work in harmony in order for us to have a high balanced energy. The reality is, and I don't know, I haven't met anyone who's got a complete balanced triangle. I think our purpose is to achieve that, and as Deepak Chopra says, we slip in and out of that perfection of field of possibility, right? I mean, if you ever achieve that triangle, I think you'd be able to look at the flower, as Deepak says, I am the flower. You reach that connection, that oneness, that deep fulfillment. Would you need to be here anymore if you ever got there? I think on this journey, on this planet, we're moving towards becoming better every day. And reality is, people are like this, guys. When people come in and they're under mental, emotional stress, and when you think about over here, what are they? They're under mental, emotional stress from what's going on in the world, anxiety, not knowing about the future, and they ruminate at night, falling into their own depression. That's sad. How do you get over sad? Because when you're sad, you're throwing out your triangle, guys. So when you're under mental, emotional stress, I want you to understand what's released in the body. You have a biochemical imbalance. You have an increase of cortisol, of adrenaline, and you get all these stress hormones released, and they start to affect the body, start to break down the body, and you start to have physical pain, a physical structure, and a physical problem. The more pain, the more problems they have structurally and physically within your body doesn't lie, guys. If you've got an ailment, you've got some physical things that are going on within your body, well, how's that happen? Where's your triangle been over the last couple of years? All right? Things aren't just an accident. Even if you had an accident, how did you choose to be at that moment in time for you to have that? What was your thinking? What were you doing? What is your psyche? So what's important to you? All these things play as a role for us to be able to discover more about ourselves. And on Friday, I'm going to go through the flow of life and when we understand the 5 stages of life and where we're at, and it's really the hero's journey or the heroine's journey that we go on when we live consciously and then we live unconsciously, and at what time in that journey do we let it slide, when we think we arrived. We start living consciously and we fall into unconscious patterns, and that's when we need to go into the void and for us to discover more about ourselves in order for us to come back up and get out of the void with a whole new vision, a whole new purpose and a start in life. And we'll talk about that then. So with more pain, you have more stress, more problems, more stress, more toxins. And here, this person doesn't have high life energy, guys. They have a low life energy. Now, people say to me, in this state here, is this a state of ease? No. Is this a state of balance? This is a state of balance. This is a state of harmony. This is a state of disharmony. This is a state of balance. This is a state of disbalance. Go with me here. This is a state of ease. This is a state of dis-ease. And I want you to understand, if you take anything away from today, wherever you may be listening from, and whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook, wherever you're looking, following us at, understand that a disease isn't a thing. A dis-ease is a state. It's a state that we created by having a triangle out of whack. simply because we haven't been looking after our thinking, our thoughts, our emotions, and nurturing, cultivating positive emotions, being engaged in life, our biochemistry, the food that we eat, how we deal with our sleep, what we drink, how do we nurture our body, how do we replenish the body, do you get enough sunshine, do you get enough of this stuff, do you go outside there and go for a walk like we do every morning? I just want to show that again, it's beautiful outside, right? I will be getting out there after this. So do you get enough of that yourself? And what about exercise? Do you move your body? Movement, stretching, that's important. Do you get on the floor and do your vinyasa flows and your yoga or your Pilates or your stretches, or just go for a walk, for a run, get that body moving? All that plays a part in order for you to have experiencing optimum health, vibrancy, vitality, and in order for you to have a better quality of life. People say to me, what is that you do with your work? Well, for 25 years, here's what I've been saying. We balance triangles. People come and see us. All of you here probably got a triangle something like this. We help you to balance a triangle. We don't put hands on the body, say, hello, your brother, sister, you're healed. I mean, that's wonderful work. We understand that. And even when you do this energy work, it's not us doing the healing. You're the healer. I'm not the healer. We don't train healers. We train people to help other people heal people. You're the healer. You create the environment in order for you to heal. This is the environment, the mental, emotional environment, the biochemical environment, your environment with nature, obviously your environment of your physical body. All that, if it's out of whack, if you're like this for a day, if you're like this for a week, if you're like this for a month, a year, and you haven't addressed it yet, what's your body going to do? Bang. You're probably going to experience some sort of disease, some pathophysiological disease. So the body says, you know what, wake up. Now you need to put your feet up. Now you need to rest, actually start looking after yourself to start getting back on track. So how do we reset this triangle? It's resetting your mind and body. It's resetting your soul. And you do that with rituals. You do that with, what's your morning ritual? When you get up in the morning, do you get up early in the morning? You're part of the 5 a.m. club, as Robin Sharma says. Do you do your meditation? Do you do your reflection? Do you go for your walk? Right? Do you sit on a chair out there and just reflect and meditate in the walk, right? Take a couple of breaths. How much water do you drink? What's your food like? Do you eat clean? And I'm not here to say what's right, what's wrong. I'm just talking about everything in moderation. If you want to achieve this type of triangle, you need to start making better decisions. So you need to have rituals for the morning. You need to have rituals for the day. How often do you move every day? Do you sit down every day? Do you put yourself in great states and thinking states? Right? Are you primed with music? Are you primed with videos? Are you primed with books that you read? Are you primed with positivity? Or are you primed with negativity? Are you primed with the environment of people are bringing you down? Or are you primed with the environment of people who are lifting you up? We rise by lifting others. That's a wonderful quote, right? But to lift others, sometimes you need to rattle it. Sometimes you need to stretch them. True love is not necessarily enabling someone and patting them on the back and say, we love you, which maybe might keep them there. I love them, but I love them enough for them not to love me. Are you completely detached from the love from someone so you can actually maybe be the person that loves them enough so they can actually become aware of the scotoma we talked about before, the blind spot, so they can make better decisions? Because I know the times that I've changed in my life, I've had people in my face. They've loved me enough to call me on my shit. At that time, I didn't like them. At the time, maybe they disappeared, maybe I disappeared. But you know what? Reflecting back on that time, that's the time I needed to go through that for me to discover what I needed to about myself to take my life to the next level. And maybe that's where you're at. What about your nightly rituals, guys? What do you do at night when you go to bed at night? Let me give you some tips. Maybe once a week, have a quiet dinner with your family or your friends with no devices. What about reading a book at night? Close your devices about an hour before you go to bed, even 2 hours. Block out all the light that might come into your room. Get into darkness. Maybe go for a walk in moonlight because it actually releases different hormones in order for you to be able to sleep better at night in your body. Right? And what about journaling at night? Asking yourself some questions. I'm thinking of one thing that'll change your life. I know last year when I think about what was really working for me in my life last year, and at a specific time when things are starting to happen, it's like I was doing a specific journaling task and exercise of the areas that I needed to work on within myself. I was journaling where I let it slide that day. I was journaling where I could be better that day. And so I was purposeful and mindful. And because of that, energetically, my vibrancy was different. I was being different each day. I was attracting different situations, having different conversations, and you know what? My life was going bang, 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 bang. And guess what? I got a specific result. Then I thought I arrived. took my foot off the accelerator and I stopped doing that. I let other things get in the way. How many times have you let other things get in the way, guys? You stop doing those things consistently. And so what we want to do is we want you to think about those rituals. We want you to understand that your mind and body is an energetic field. You know, we introduced Chinese medicine and kinesiology. Understand we have a chi. See, this is our chi here, guys. When your chi is blocked, right, you have disease. When your chi is free-flowing, right, you experience optimum health and vitality. So we teach you tapping techniques to be able to shift your chi. You know, emotional freedom technique or energy freedom technique, right, positive EFT, all these different techniques in order for you to actually help put your body in a better position to deal with things. We use tapping, balancing energy for you to be able to increase your energy, maybe decrease the sensitivities that you may have with certain things and substances in the world today. We use the tapping to balance your chi, because when your chi is balanced, your pain goes away. Maybe able to deal with things with better, the anxiety, stress or sadness. So you need to understand your body a little bit more. You need to understand that your body gives you some signs. It gives you signs. It's a sign of nature. It's a reflection of what's been going on holistically and telling you how you need to make a decision. But if you keep on avoiding it, well, guess what? It's only going to keep on coming back. If you keep on avoiding it, it's only going to keep on coming back. If you're going to keep on avoiding it, it's only going to keep on coming back. Isn't it right? And so my wish for you is that you start to think about what can you do to reset your body. So that is your second major move. Your first major move, which we talked about yesterday, you need to rewire your mind. Be able to go from reactive to resourceful. How do you go from being reactive and getting charged of things to actually becoming resourceful? Today, what do we talk about? How do you go from run down to being re-energized? How do you actually do that? You need to reset your mind and body. You need to reset yourself by maybe getting back to nature. You need to reset yourself by going back and thinking about your morning rituals, starting to drink more water, starting to eat better, starting to have nightly rituals in order for you to be able to reset yourself, reset your mind, reset your body, connect with nature to activate the vibrancy and vitality that you have within. And use techniques like, you know, tapping, Chinese medicine, energy psychology, kinesiology. So we're using a lot of NLP here, a lot of hypnosis here, and over here we use the Chinese medicine, kinesiology, energy psychology. We combine that here at the MBX Institute, and of course down here use all these other coaching tools, hypnotherapy, to get into your unconscious programs, to really get rid of that ruminating and that depression that you might be falling into, so you can start being in the vibration to attract a whole different quality of life. It's all about your frequency, my friends. It's all about your vibration. And so step two is, how do you reset yourself? So we know step one, you need to rewire your thinking. Step two, you need to reset your mind and body. Step three, we'll talk about tomorrow. This is the R3 protocol that we've come to you. And we said, you know, we're doing this because really at the core, this is what we do. We help individuals build resilience, build their inner strength so they can navigate the road ahead and get ahead without losing their integrity and their passion for life as they move forward in 2022, guys. So I want to thank you for being here. Obviously, it's a little bit quicker than yesterday. We'll be coming to you again tomorrow, same time. We'll be talking to you about the third major move. So we talked about how do you go from reactive to resourceful, move one. How do you go from run down to being re-energized, you know, move two. Rewire your thinking, move one. Reset your mind and body, move two. So now the question is, how do you go from ruminating, getting caught up in your head, falling into depression, the stress, the anxiety, now the depression. We said the World Health Organization said that depression is going to be the #1 killer over the next, 2 years ago, they said by 2025. That was 2 years ago, before the situation that we're in. Where is it now? And so when you get caught up in your head, and your life just withers away. You ruminate and you disconnect, you disengage. So my question is, how do you re-engage? How do you go from ruminating to re-engaged in life? So we're talking about how do you go from reactivity to resourcefulness, rewire your brain. From run down to re-energized, reset the mind and body. And how do you go from ruminating to re-engaged, getting back in the game? Well, we're going to talk about tomorrow your identity. How do you change your identity? How do you change your self-image? How do you redefine yourself in terms of the person that you want to be? And that's the deep inner work, my friend. So thank you for being here today. If you've got anything from today, thank you from whoever's watching on here, and from wherever you're coming from, let us know. Put some posts, whether you're watching it live or replay when you watch it. And if you've got anything, just let us know. What are your 3 things that you got out of the talk today? And share this with 3 different people, because when you do share something that you've learned or got today, that's when you can integrate those learnings at a deeper core level. So I want to congratulate you. Have a great Australia Day, as they say here in Australia. We will be seeing you tomorrow this time. Take care, and we'll see you soon. See you, everyone. Cheers.